Your Omaha High is being sponsored by Best Buy Signs, creator of the Omaha Parks program, OmahaFastFoods.com, Kohl's Pharmacy and Home Care, Certified Transmission, Centris Federal Credit Union, Shold It, Rotella's Italian Bakery, La Peeps Restaurant, Performance Auto Group, Two Men and a Truck, Crane Landscape Construction, Shout Weekly, Mid-America Speakers Bureau, Farm Bureau Financial Services, Critter Control. Welcome to Your Omaha High with Andy Greenberg, the show that will leave you feeling great about yourself, Omaha's heroes, and Omaha, where we live, work, and play. So park yourself on the bench and have fun. Championships in football around the country with different age groups and variations. He's going to teach us and you and me all about motivational techniques when someone is going great, when they're not going great, how to coach them. And by the way, you know who he's going to be talking to? He's going to be talking to you. Even if you don't play football, you're going to learn from James Kerwin. James, I look very much forward to learning from you just a little bit later on the show. And as we begin these motivational vignettes, one of the things I just want to ask you one-on-one, how many of these have you used? There's a lot of them, and there's more coming, so let's get started right now. Now, here's a question for you. Every one of us has an expression that says, you know what? I'm going to take a shortcut. I'm going to find the shortcut. I don't want to go this way. I know there's a shortcut available, and we do everything we can to find that shortcut. It could be when we drive. It could be an activity that we're doing. So here's my question as we go through finding that shortcut. Why are we taking the long way to begin with? You know, we never create a shortcut. The shortcut is always there. All we had to do a lot earlier in our planning, a lot earlier in our life, is to just take that time and find it. Now, I am not saying we should cut corners and eliminate things that are important. Certainly not saying that. But every time that you say to yourself, hey, you know what, I'm going to find a shortcut to this, I love that expression. The only thing that you need to do is move it up in life. So if something is taking you a long time right now, it could be a journey, it could be going to an achievement, it could be getting to a goal, and you're beginning to think to yourself, wow, this is taking a little bit too long, get involved with that shortcut. Find out what others have done. Because remember, if there is a road that's already built that gets you to where you want to go faster than you've ever been before, somebody else has built that road. Just go ahead and find it. It's there. There's a path for you to follow each and every time. So in life, when you plan something, don't take the long way. It's just going to get frustrating. What you need to do is find somebody else's shortcut and follow it. Or even better, you're going to like this, create your own so that somebody else can follow you so that you can lead their way to the success that they get and you get, because that is just a wonderful feeling. Now, I want to have a vision in your mind. I want to pretend for a moment that you are on third base. Whether you play baseball or not, it doesn't matter. You're on third base, you've got the glove, and something is coming to you. And you're getting ready for it, you watch it come into the glove, you close the glove, and you've got it. And you know what? You caught something. And there's an expression that is, hey, you know what? I caught a break. Now, how many times in life do we use that expression? Geez, I just wish I could catch a break. I just wish somebody would get up there and throw me a break because I'm right here. I'm ready with my glove. I'm ready to catch that break because I'm good at catching breaks. Well, how often has that worked for you? How's that going for you? Just waiting to catch a break? Probably not good at all. That is one of the expressions that each and every one of us should immediately get rid of, because no one's going to send you a break. You're not going to be ready to catch it. What you have to do is you have to be the one at bat. You have to be the one taking the pitch of life and saying to yourself, it's coming at me. Now, do I get afraid of that pitch, or am I ready? Have I practiced? Do I know what to do with it? How far can I hit it? Not the expression, can I hit it? How far can I hit it? What power will I put behind it? What kind of velocity will that ball have after it leaves my bat? Because that is the way breaks are done. Breaks are created by you. No one throws them at you. So what I want you to do is I want you to dispel from your mind you being on third base. I want you to dispel from your mind that you're standing all around life with that one glove, waiting for someone to throw you that break. It's not going to happen. I want you to be up at bat. I want you to follow that ball right to the barrel of the bat and say to yourself, that thing is going far because I hit it. Now, you know, there's another expression in life which is called wheels on a bus. Where did that come from? It comes from a childhood song that each and every one of us have heard. We've done it with our grandkids. We've done it with a lot of different people. That says, from that song, the wheels on the bus go round and round. You're familiar with it. So as you hear that song, I've got a question for you. Where are you on the bus as the wheels go around, as the windows go up and down? Are you driving the bus as a leader? Are there people sitting behind you saying, hey, we've got a great leader as the wheels on the bus go round and round? If you're not on the bus as a leader, it's okay to be a passenger. Here's a question for you. As you're looking out the window, are you looking at where life was and all of a sudden it disappears? Or are you looking ahead as to where life will be? Are you thinking about the destination that that leader is taking you to? Because the way you begin to visualize sitting on that bus, you could be asleep, by the way, and just watching life go by, or you could be looking out that window doing the same thing. You've got to think about the destination. There's a reason you're on that bus. There's a reason why the wheels are turning. There's a reason why you paid the fare to be on that bus. Yes, I'm over-expanding. I plead guilty to that. But it's true. It really is. Because in life, you get the opportunity to look ahead. In life, you get the opportunity to plan that destination. In life, you get the opportunity to buy that ticket for that bus or airplane or anything that takes you there. So anytime you're a passenger somewhere, don't watch things go by. Just be part of it. Just go ahead and look at that destination. Look at what's coming. Enjoy it and take full advantage of it. And you know, as long as we're talking about travel very briefly, delays on airplanes. You know how often it says delays on airplanes? You've got to say to yourself, hey, am I going to get off that plane because there's going to be a delay? Am I not going to get to my destination because there's a delay? No. You wait in the lounge. You get yourself a cup of coffee. You read a newspaper. You know that eventually you'll get there. You get somewhat frustrated. But in life, when there's a delay going to where you want to go, you know you quit. You know you get off that plane. You know you say, it's taking me too long. I'm just not going to get there. Don't do that. When you're thinking about delays, when you're thinking about how sometimes things happen to you that you have absolutely no control over, I want you to go back. I want you to think about that if you were on that airplane and something was posted and it said on the posting, flight delayed 2 hours, you're just going to sit back, grin and bear it, and you've got to do the same thing with life. Because life is a traveling experience. There will be delays. Absorb it and have fun with them, just as you do at the airport. So let's review these 4 motivational vignettes from the day. Remember, create your own shortcuts. Remember, get to bat and create your breaks. No one's going to throw them at you. Get that glove and throw it away. And remember, when you're a passenger on a bus or an airplane or a car, look at the destination. Look at where it's going. And be proud and happy that you're taking that journey there. And yes, there are going to be delays. But just like flight delays, always take advantage of them and always enjoy them. And you know, each and every week we do talk about a nonprofit organization. And this week we're going to be talking about the Midwest Child Care Association. More than any other aspect of child care, parents are concerned about its quality. Parents want their children to be safe. They want their children to be learning. They also want their children to be healthy. And that is what the Midwest Child Care Association is all about. Midwest, a nonprofit organization for more than 30 years, has worked with thousands of family child care homes and child care centers throughout Nebraska. Their primary focus is to monitor the child and adult care food program, which means that Midwest is making sure that the meals that are served to the young children in daycare are nutritious, contain the 4 food groups, and meet USDA requirements. Recently, in low-income areas of the Midwest and the Omaha area, they have successfully recruited, trained, and funded 20 new family child care business owners. 80 new child care slots were opened for low-income families looking for employment. Midwest has received several contracts with the United States Air Force and Navy to increase the availability, accessibility, and affordability of child care for their employees. Presently, Midwest is employing special needs providers who will provide respite care for Offutt Air Force Base families in the Omaha area. For more information, please be sure to go to Midwest's website, which is www.midwestchildcare.org, for help, or give them a call at 402-551-2379. And now we get to the part of the show where you get to learn from an expert in motivation. You get to learn from a person who has taken various teams to the highest level of performance, where they have won championships in a wonderful sport, and that sport, of course, is football. Because you're about to learn from James Kerwin what it takes to be a champion in anything that you try. James, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Andy.
It means a lot to the viewers, and let's just get right to it.
Absolutely.
Football, that's your passion. You can tell by the smile.
It is, absolutely.
Why and when did you start playing football?
You know, I started playing football as a youth, and my father had gotten me in a lot of different sports, and baseball was really my best sport, but for whatever reason, I just loved the physical aspect of football, and I loved the camaraderie of football. It just appealed to me, and it's been part of my life since youth, and I've been doing it every year since.
And what year did you start? You say since youth?
Oh, probably about 7, 8 years old.
7, 8 years. So there you were in the football uniform, the helmet. Was it Pee Wee football or?
Yeah, it was a local Pee Wee program.
Yeah.
And back then we had those funny looking helmets with the egg top. And,
oh yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty prehistoric compared to today. And it was great because it was where I learned fundamentals. It was where I learned the foundation of football. It was where I learned the foundation of teamwork. And we had excellent coaches back then and excellent leaders, and that's kind of what formed who I am today.
Sure. Did you have a particular mentor?
In high school, my head coach was an excellent mentor. He was old school, and when you mean by old school, he liked to do things that were make you hurt a little bit, but hurt for the right way. And he just was a great individual and taught me a lot of great things about not just football, but life after football.
Interesting. So you began as a Pee Wee, then you obviously went to junior high school, college, and did you win? Were you on championship teams when you were getting involved in football as a youth in college?
Yeah, absolutely. In high school, I was fortunate enough to be on a couple conference championship teams. We never had a chance to win a state title, but we were pretty successful there. In college, I had the opportunity to go to the University of Nebraska. And I was there for my first 3 years, and we won a Big 8 championship against Oklahoma.
Wow.
And we were ranked pretty much the whole time I was there in the top 5, and that was kind of the days when we were playing Oklahoma back and forth. And
who was the coach then?
Coach Osborne was our head coach, and my position coach was Frank Stolich, who has been another great mentor of mine in the coaching realm.
Right.
So learned a lot of great things. When you talk about leaders, Coach Osborne is one of those guys that, from a character standpoint and how he leads his life every day, is truly the foundation of kind of where I led in football and coaching.
So against Oklahoma, things went well. You felt pretty good about it. And what position were you playing then, by the way?
At the University of Nebraska, I was a fullback. Actually,
fullback.
Actually, I was a running back fullback at the University of Nebraska, while Coach Stolich was my position coach.
Sure.
And it was a great experience. However, I did transfer.
Okay.
I did transfer. Coming out of high school, I was recruited by the University of Wisconsin as well.
All right.
And that is my home state originally, and that's where my mom lives and my family. And I decided to move back there, and I had this aspiration of law school at the University of Wisconsin. I was going to go to Madison, but I found out I was going to lose a year of eligibility. I decided to go to a Division III school up there called the University of Wisconsin Oshkosh. Made a complete change in my life. Didn't know anybody. Wanted to start new, play on defense, and it was a great move.
Excellent. So I just want to review for a moment because it's very, very important to understand and realize what he's done. He had a great career, wonderful football, good mentoring, and then he said, you know what, I'm going to try something else. I want to go to law school. I want to divert from something that I'm in my comfort zone and try something new. How many of us would do that? I mean, we know that once we're in a comfort zone, we want to stay there. But my gosh, here's a great example of someone who got out of their comfort zone and went from offense to defense and did just as well. Well, now let's go back to coaching.
Sure.
So what was your first coaching assignment?
You know, after my playing career at the University of Wisconsin Oshkosh, I had the opportunity to go on and play professional football. So I went on to the CFL and got injured there, rehabbed from that, went to Europe, played over there, and then had a chance to play in the Arena Football League. During those times, which was fortunate for me, those leagues performed during the spring and summer. So
right.
As soon as I graduated, I had the opportunity to play and coach at the same time. So my first opportunity was at the University of Wisconsin Oshkosh as a linebacker coach.
Ah, okay.
So my defensive coordinator at the time thought I was able to handle it. So I didn't have any grooming whatsoever. He's like, James, you got the linebackers. Take them.
Jeez, just like that.
Absolutely. Yeah,
and you didn't turn down that opportunity. You said,
no.
No, you went right for it.
Absolutely.
Right.
I loved the challenge, and I was going to take it on. That was my first experience, and then the following year, I worked as a grad assistant at Emporia State.
All right.
Under a great defensive coordinator. Learned a lot of different things there. Then from there, went back to University of Wisconsin Oshkosh and just went on from there.
And then you took over Arena Football, and you won 2 national championships?
Absolutely.
With the same team?
Nope, 2 different teams.
That makes it even harder.
Yeah, it is. It is. Both situations, which was unique. Both teams were first-year franchises. The first team was in Knoxville, Tennessee, in the Arena Football League. We were the Tennessee Thundercats, and we started off the season kind of slow and persevered and made the right moves in our personnel and kind of followed our agenda and got to a point where we were able to play in a championship and won that. Our national championship
right.
there. The following year, our staff went to Kansas for that Arena Football team, started that program up, and we ended up going undefeated and winning the championship in the league.
Now, this is actually a remarkable story because sometimes you take over a team and, all right, they're established, people there, there's baggage, but here's an individual who took over 2 brand new teams, got together as a leader and got everybody focused on just one thing, and that's winning, and got it accomplished. Was this 2 years in a row?
It's actually 2001 and 2003.
2001 and 2003, which is a fantastic story. So how do you motivate people? You get all these people who are strangers, never played together, probably were suspicious of each other,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
Some of them probably didn't want to be there. They felt they probably were good enough to be in the NFL.
Absolutely.
So there was some chips on their shoulders. How did you ever manage to get them together as a cohesive team?
That's a great question, Andy. And the phrase that I like to use with these athletes, and a lot of them had chips on their shoulders. They were guys that have been in NFL camps or, they were looked over because there's so many of those guys out there.
Yeah.
And I used to call it herding cats. I mean, all these guys come in there and they got different ideas and different agendas. It could be individual agendas. It could be a team agenda. And you have to get them corralled
right.
to really be focused on what the agenda might be or what you're trying to establish as a team, and you really set that pace the first day you meet them. Actually, in the recruiting process, if I'm recruiting you, Andy, I'm saying, here's what we're trying to accomplish. I need you to be on board 100%. You need to be all in. Before you even get on that plane or get in that car and you drive to this city, you've got to be ready for what we're going to do and to the agenda. So that's kind of where it all started in building that foundation.
And the word is commitment. I think everything that you just
Yes.
talked about in the last sentence, they've got to provide you with not only the commitment to you, but the commitment to themselves. And I'm going to guess even more important, the commitment to their teammates.
Absolutely.
So so that's the motivation. How do you keep it going, especially maybe things aren't going so well?
Right.
How do you do that?
There's a couple ways of looking at it. A lot of these guys, most of them have the dream of getting back to the NFL or getting to the NFL or getting to the Canadian Football League or trying to move up to a higher level. And in this level of football has been fun because it's a developmental level, not only from a football standpoint,
right.
but professionally. And you use a couple different motivational techniques. Some guys you just know, they're not going to get to that level. And I always say, you got to perform at the best you can. And guess what? You're going to go out and you're going to meet people. You're going to shake hands. You're going to network. And this is going to be the next step of your life. Your next step is not going to be football all the time. It could be coaching. It could be insurance. It could be some sales job, whatever it might be. And I really encourage these guys to use that. That's part of the motivation of being part of that system, because you really get into a networking type of situation when you're playing professional football.
And I think the lesson for each and every one of us to learn here is as follows. The motivational techniques is not a general one. I don't hear this rah-rah, let's get into the locker room, and one speech for every individual, the all-know-it-all type of a speech. What I'm hearing here is we take the opportunity to understand what motivates an individual. And you got to be truthful. So one of the things we just heard James say is, if a person is not going to be in the NFL, don't set false expectations for that individual. Just go ahead and allow that individual to take their skills and their talents and transfer them, so that whenever they need to fall back on the opportunity that they played football, to boast about it, to network about it. And it's the same thing with you and I. If we are not terrific at one particular thing, we can transfer that skill. We just don't have to give up. But we need a coach and we need a mentor. So what would happen after all of that? The people that you're motivating on your team, they just don't get it.
Yeah,
and what do you do?
There's, and I care about each individual that I coach, and sometimes it doesn't work out for everybody. As you know, in life, it happens.
Right.
And for those individuals that just can't get it, that just, this may not be their niche, I sit down and have a conversation with them. It could be you, Andy, and I could say, Andy, this is not working out for you, but I want to help you. I want to help you find your niche. I just don't want to send you on a bus home with no plan. I want to help you create a plan. Let's talk about some of the things you might, this could be an exit strategy for them and for me to at least feel good about what I'm doing as a coach and have them have a good experience of what they're doing. And sometimes those guys just don't get it. And usually most of the time it's a good situation. Obviously you have certain people that just don't belong, and you have to go through the release process, which you let go of a person from your professional squad.
And I've seen that on TV when they highlight the Washington Redskins or the Atlanta Falcons for a season, and they get called into their office and they're let go, and the interaction and the emotional feelings on that.
Yeah.
And it does hurt, but the way they do it almost mirrors the way you just described it, but actually you do it better.
Oh, thank you.
Just from the little example I've heard.
Yeah.
Now, how do you motivate yourself?
I'm just wired that way, Andy. I tell you, I'm a big believer in education. I try to educate myself every day, and I pick up leadership books, and I pick up motivational speakers, and I try to caption every day. I try to spend at least 10 minutes a day. That's my goal. I mean, if it's more than 10 minutes, that's a bonus. But I'll pick up a book and I'll read, 10 minutes of that, and if it gives me some inspiration, I use that each day. And that's part of that. And I'm just focused on what I want. I've got a goal. I always create goals, and I have a plan. And you've mentioned this a few times. That plan can be diverted 5 different ways.
Right.
And the key for me is to persevere, not get upset, not be in a position where I'm failing or I'm just going to give up. I'm diverted in a situation, readjust a plan, and move forward.
And that's what motivates. So what goal do you have for yourself? I mean, I hear the technique, but I want to get focused on what your goal is for you.
I love being a coach.
Right.
And it's not just football. I love coaching people. I love coaching people in business. I love coaching people in training. I do a lot of training, fitness training.
Right.
Obviously football. I do a lot of different techniques with consulting. I just enjoy trying to help people improve their lives. I get a kick out of it. Everybody's a different individual. Everybody's bringing something different to the table, and I love to key in on that and find out what that is and help them become excited and passionate and enthusiastic about their life. And that really just makes me, I get really excited about it. And that's kind of where I'm focused at, and that's why I continue to do the things I do. That's why I continue to coach at the professional level, because I can touch those lives. And it's just exciting for me.
And you were involved, talking about the professional level, you were involved with the Nighthawks for their very, very brief time. Mm-hmm. What kind of an experience was that for you?
A couple different experiences. One, you're seeing a lot of great athletes at that level. The city of Omaha is a great city, and they embrace professional sports like no other city. And it's just a great experience when you see people excited about things like that. The athletes that we had come in there were just right on the cusp of making the NFL. One of the best experiences I had my first year was having a chance to work with Joe Moglia. And Joe was very, very good at talking about life after football. Right. His leadership and the way he motivated the guys, it just really it helped me learn another aspect of coaching, another way of getting guys motivated about what they do, and it was really a unique experience for me. And then the following year, I was more in a training aspect, and I had a chance to work with each individual athlete from a performance standpoint,
right.
And it was just a great experience. And I still keep in contact with a lot of those guys. They're still active, so
sure.
we're always in a recruiting process, and they're always calling me about certain things. So that was a great experience. But unfortunately, it's just not around here in Omaha anymore.
Do you envision ever being on an NFL team as a coach? Could be a line coach, a safety coach, whatever.
Yeah, I've had those aspirations in the past,
sure.
and still they're lingering there. I've got good friends that are in NFL coaching or either playing or coaching, and sometimes there might be some things that come up, but sometimes it doesn't fit into my schedule or fit into my plans.
Sure.
But if the right situation would bring itself about, I certainly would be interested in something like that.
So let's recap and describe for me, please, 3 things that you would like people to remember from this interview to make them great leaders and great players. Give me 3 things.
3 things. Well, I would say 1, perseverance.
Okay.
That is something for me. It's been huge. You're always going to have ebbs and flows of life. You're going to have peaks and valleys. And during the time that's tough, you got to persevere, and you got to continue on that goal, on that path. I think the other one's laser focus. I think you have to have a laser focus on what your agenda is. If you can put that type of focus on energy towards something, you're going to be successful at it. And I think it's a combination of compassion and enthusiasm. Got to be enthusiastic every day. I just think you have to wake up every day, and you could have the worst day of your life, but do everything you possibly can to be enthusiastic, because you're in front of people all the time, and your attitude is projected on a lot of people, and you want to be positive in that aspect.
And there you have it. There you have it. The ways to be a champion and the ways to succeed in life are absolutely perfect for you. You've learned it from James. I want to thank you so much. Continued success. Continue to inspire people.
Appreciate it.
And add to what you learned from James about taking a shortcut, catching a break, and the wheels on a bus and flight delays. And by the way, if you liked what you saw this week on your Omaha High with Andy Greenberg, just wait till next week. We have an international songwriter winner, Karen Sokolov-Javits, who has her own radio show here in Omaha, Nebraska. And she's also going to be joined by a Grammy Award winner right here in Omaha, Chuck Pennington. So next week, you'll have an opportunity once again to return to learn about these